Okay, welcome everybody to the November meeting of Friends Becoming Neighbors 2024. We're almost at that time of the year. Um, I am in my fall garb, as everybody's saying, aren't you in the South? And I'm feeling a little nostalgic for my fall leaves and everything else. So happy to be here, but missing the cooler weather and the lack of mosquitoes. I never thought that was something that I would miss about New York, was the lack of flying things that bite. So it's all good. But we're so happy to have everybody here tonight. Before we go around and talk about everybody, when we have a little bit of time, I'm going to introduce Andrea Daniels. Andrea's parents, Barb and Jean Daniels, live here in the Bluffs. And in fact, we were all together last night. We were missing you. And people discovered that your dad has one of the loudest uh, booming voices when you need to make everybody quiet. So it must have been really a challenge. We asked him to get everybody quiet. So it must have been a real challenge growing up. I'm sure you always managed to hear him.
The Marine in him for
It is
sure.
definitely the Marine in him. So I'm going to introduce Andrea Daniels so that she doesn't have to sit around unless she'd like to. And Andrea, go ahead.
Well, hi everybody. Like Robin said, my name is Andrea Daniels. My parents are on Lemon Drop, and I they built with Coastal Cypress because I know we say that. So in case anyone's wondering, the reason I am on tonight is because I work for Hildreth. We are a United and Mayflower agency for moving. Taken it upon myself to kind of become the designated neighborhood mover. And just really love connecting my parents. I feel like I bring them friends every time I move somebody in. So it's really become something I take a lot of pride in. Hildreth has been in business since 1903. So this is something that my company is very well versed in. We do moves cross country, cross state, cross town. But the reason I wanted to jump on tonight is all of you guys have to get down here. I live in Wilmington. So when you move with Hildreth, you get quality customer service, you get quality care from me. The process starts with a virtual walkthrough. You'll show me around your home, show me everything that you're taking, and then I'll turn around an estimate to you. I'm very transparent, and I think that the connection I have with the Bluffs and my transparency and understanding that I can literally drive to your guys' houses and then tell my team like, hey, they're not going to be ready, they're going to need some more time, or to things to look out for in the new house. Brian, I've been in your house. Um, so I'm familiar with the neighborhood. I'm familiar with this process. I've worked for Hildreth and in the moving industry for over 4 years. And I really just take a lot of pride in what I do. And the reason I wanted to speak to you guys is because there's a lot of rogue movers. There's a lot of bad movers. There's a lot of people that take advantage. And I would hate for anybody to be put in that situation. So if I can present myself to you, give you my information, and we get you an estimate, and I can get someone safe and sound down here to Leland, that makes my heart happy. Um, Even if you don't move with me, I'm happy to take a look at your quotes and just make sure that you're getting the best rate, or you're getting the best, or you're going with someone reputable. So even if we aren't able to work together, I'm more than happy to use my knowledge and help you guys get down here. I know everyone is in various stages of their build, so I may not hear from all of you right away. But the summer is our busiest time of year. So if your move in date, or the finishing of your home falls in during those summer months, just keep in mind that you're going to want to reach out to a mover sooner rather than later, because prices start going up from May to about September. So if
Cool.
that is your window, definitely try and reach out to someone, me or someone else, before before the rates go up and capacity goes down. So it's also, if you know that that's your window, you're going to want to get on a calendar, because everyone's trying to move because all the kids are out of school. And the later you wait, it's kind of like when you fly. and Christmas. Like if you book your flight the day before Christmas, it's going to be a lot more expensive than if you booked your flight in August for the holidays. Um, I had an appointment with Ellen this week. We did a walkthrough of her house. She has her mom's apartment off site. She was able to send me pictures of that, um, pictures of the storage unit, and then I sent her over a quote today. It's a very easy process. So even if you're just kind of wanting to figure out how much you need a budget for or not close to that time, please reach out to me. And I had a background and I couldn't figure out how to reverse it so that my name and phone number were there. It was all backwards, so I'll put my information in the chat. But we do small moves, so there's no move that's too small. We have container shipments that we can do, kind of like the pods, but we still do all of the work. So even if you're like, well, we're not moving a whole household of stuff, we don't need a mover.
You froze.
We can still help you. We do packing of the mattresses. So we also offer third-party services. So if you have like expensive large mirrors, glass, front-loading washer and dryer, we can send out all the right people to disconnect that, pack that up, take that down, whatever you need. So Hildrep, like I said, is a great company. We're also a United and Mayflower agent, so we have the nationwide network of trucks. So even if you are on the West Coast, we can still get you here to North Carolina. Um,
Andrea, do you still have any kind of relationships with local storage so that if people are coming down ahead of time and renting?
yeah, so my company now has offices in Raleigh, so it wouldn't be up the road, but we would store your stuff at the Hildrep office
You froze
in
again.
Raleigh versus it
Okay.
being a stuff would be stored in Raleigh. So I know that's not super convenient, but our storage is kind of like a set it and forget it. So if you're like moving down here, putting everything in storage and don't need it until you move in, we can get you that kind of storage as well.
Okay, terrific. So Andrea, you want to just give everybody your phone number out loud and then you can leave it for us in the chat.
Yes. So again, my name is Andrea Daniels. I work with Hildrep Moving and Storage. My number is 703-297-5987.
And you can leave that in the chat and I have that. I'm happy to share it with everybody happily.
Does anyone have any questions about anything or looking to want me to reach out to you? I'm happy to answer any questions I can right now.
Just quick, you had mentioned that, if some people do a store, if somebody didn't want something up in Raleigh, but something closer in case, it was more usable stuff to go to, is that something you could execute as well?
Yes, so I do have a relationship with another United agency that's right up in downtown Wilmington, that I could always talk to. But the storage that we have as the moving industry is what we call vaulted storage. So everything gets packed into these wooden boxes and kind of set on a shelf. I always say like Monsters Inc. style for whatever reason. That's the analogy that makes sense to me.
Okay.
So if you needed those things, I'm like I told you guys, I'm super transparent. I'm going to steer you away from that. I'm going to say if you want to be able to go and pick up things every couple of weeks or every couple of months, you're not going to want to put your stuff in storage with us because you have to pay to get it unvaulted.
Got it.
So I know there's a great storage unit on Mount Misery that's a mini storage and we can deliver to a mini storage, but that's
Okay.
destination. But like I said, I'm happy to advise you in any way, and I'm not going to sell you something you don't need. So, like if you said if you want to be able to get to your stuff, I'm going to tell you exactly what I just said. Our storage is not like my dad when they were building down here. He's like, I want to be able to sit with my things. Don't ask me why. He just wanted to be able to like go and see his stuff while they were building their house in the bluffs. So they were in a mini storage. Like he's not someone that would have wanted to store with us because he would not have been able to go and hang out with his things.
That's cute.
Love it.
All right,
Brian,
thank
you
you.
have your hand raised.
Andrea, how does it work? I live in Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
Do you have a person up here that comes to my house? Or do I send you pictures of what I need to move? How does that work?
So you and I would set up a virtual appointment. So it would be a live FaceTime. Um, Ellen lives in Montana, and we did one on Tuesday. I don't know what day it is. This week is a blur. So if you needed someone, like I know sometimes people really want someone in home, I could always reach out to my local contacts up in Pennsylvania, but you and I would set up a live virtual walkthrough.
Okay.
Okay.
I did
Anybody else?
our virtual walkthrough with her a couple days ago. So we're in
I don't
Minnesota.
know what day it is anymore.
A couple days ago. So we videoed everything room to room, and I had my second we're by nature. We did 3 quotes from 3 companies, and we had our second one today, and it was so with Andrea, it was I felt like the responsibility was on her because she was seeing what she was seeing through my phone. So there couldn't really be any errors. Today, a different company, and it was I walked through and I had to tell the person on the phone everything that was in the room. And I can tell you the prices were very different, and I'll talk to Andrew about that next week. But the prices were really different between the two. And then I have a third one on Friday where they're sending a person to my house who we'll see. So between the three, but I mean, the video was it was very reassuring because I knew she was seeing what was actually in my house. So it felt
Is that
better
the one
than
that I
me
gave you
telling
that
the
feedback
person.
on? Was that the one that I gave you the feedback on that did
Yes.
the over the phone? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All
I
Ron
have
right.
a
and Hannah,
comment.
did you guys have a question?
Yeah, this is Jim, and I understand that when you get a quote, they pick the furniture up when they're moving you, and then they take it and weigh it, and you get your final pricing off that. Is that correct?
Not with us. So the estimate that I give you is what the move is based on. So it's a binding quote that will not change. So unless my crew shows up and they're like, "Hey, there's way more here than you said," and I think
Right.
that's happened to me maybe 3 times in the 4 years that I've been doing this that I've been off, then we would figure something out. But it's a binding quote. It's not going to change. We don't go and weigh it and then charge you based on the actuals. That's not how United works.
And the other issue we had when we moved here a couple months ago, we went to Prime Storage on Mount Misery, and I shopped the special, and they had the 20 by 10 for 150 something a month. And about a month later, they send me we've reassessed it, and we're jumping your rate up $30 more. So because it's a month-to-month lease, even though you get this introductory rate, they really don't tell you that you're going to be paying more in a month or two. So that's talking to the young lady that was at the desk there. She says that's kind of common practice amongst all these warehouse outfits. Just heads up on payment on that. That's all I got.
Okay. All right, anybody else have any questions for Andrea? No? Okay, so Andrea, you're welcome to hang out. You're always welcome here. But
I have a little more work to do, so
Okay.
I'm going to put my email in the chat as well. Please reach
Perfect.
out to me if you guys have any questions, or just want to start the process. It's never too early, because I know sometimes people don't realize what an expense it is. So if you just want to figure out what you're looking for, I'm happy to walk through with you guys. So please reach out if I can help, okay?
Are you around POA weekend?
Yes, but I think I have both dogs because my mom just asked me to watch my brother's dog. So I was like bummed because I was going to try and meet up with you guys. But I think I'm dog sitting.
No worries, because she's around all the time. You never know when. I always like it when she knocks on my door. It's a wonderful thing. But thank you, sweetheart, and we'll speak to you
You're
soon.
welcome. Bye, guys. Have a
Bye,
good night.
guys.
Thank you.
So yeah, Andrea's been coming on from the very beginning. So welcome everybody. We have to say welcome Paul and welcome David. We're just going to quickly and Michael as well. So Michael, you hopped in. You want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Robin and I moved in 3 months ago. As of yesterday, it was our 3-month anniversary here. And Robin and I are located, as she said, we are the last house. It's like the end of the universe here. We're the last house on Bay Colony. And little by little, we're joining things and doing things and meeting people. And last night we attended the introductory meeting for some new people. That was a lot of fun. And I just wanted to also mention I put into the notes. I shared Brett Lascara's information there, Brett from the Honeycutt Group. So we had a really good experience with Brett with our homeowners insurance. We're not ready to use him for auto insurance. We're still on our old policy, but that's going to change over as soon as we get our new licenses and re-register our cars. So we had a good experience dealing with Brett. And that's probably about it right now. Nothing else really to add. Really loving living here and meeting people. Everybody's really nice. And it's finally good to have our construction mostly completed and to see all these new houses now starting to go up. It's really exciting to see.
So Tim, I think you were the one that introduced us to Brett.
Yeah, the Honeycutt Group, I can't say enough about those guys. The whole team, they're incredibly professional. They're so prompt. They're really thorough. We started with them with like a builder's risk policy, maybe a liability policy during construction. And now we have everything with them. And I wouldn't think of doing business anywhere else ever. Like they're so good. I was on the phone with them today, as a matter of fact, doing my renewal for my homeowners. I'm a month early, so I hadn't even been contacted with them. They're like, "We have you on the list. We're going to contact you a week from today." And I go, "I bet you were," because we've already done your research and your profile for the companies. Here's what we're recommending for this year. Here's how it compares. I was like, I just called them out of the blue. Excuse me, guys. I just called them out of the blue, like they were not prepared for me to call. And in 3 seconds, he had my information up and all the quotes they had gotten in advance of my renewal. So that's just very typical. I have my boat insurance with them, my cars, which were like a 50% discount over what I had with Liberty Mutual. We've got our house, we've got our umbrella policy. So we're thrilled. Super, super good group.
All right, awesome. Well, while we have you speaking, if you clear your frog, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us where you live.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. So sorry about my cold here. Yeah, my name is Tim. My wife Allison and I moved in January 8th. We spent the time during our build locally, so we came down. We moved from Long Island, New York. We rented an apartment and kind of oversaw what was happening here at the Bluffs, and the change is just amazing. It is, like Robin mentioned earlier, it is rock and roll, and there's a lot of things going on here. But now we've been in the house here, 10 and a half months. We couldn't be happier. Our house is beautiful. Our neighbors are great. Everyone you meet here, this is the funny thing about the Bluffs. Everybody you meet here is like really nice. Now, I don't know if it's because I come from Long Island, but I'm just not used to it. Like there's always a jerk in the crowd, right? But there just isn't a jerk here. Everybody's just so friendly and accommodating and willing to answer any questions you have. And there's so much to do. So we're thrilled to be here. Please, whether it's on this call or a year from now, just feel free to reach out to us and ask us for our experiences or what we found in the neighborhood. We did shop we built the house. We came down here with nothing. We literally were like, I think we were like in the witness protection program or something, because we brought no belongings with us. We bought everything here. So we've been to all the stores, done all the shopping, all that kind of crazy stuff. So anybody ever has any questions, feel free to reach out.
And his house is absolutely gorgeous. So yes, there were a lot of places that we did. So yeah, and Tim was one of our very, very original ones. So it's always good to have people coming back. So let's see. David, why don't you guys introduce yourselves? Tell us a little bit about you and where your lot is.
Sorry, working on the mute here.
No worries.
I'm David. This is Amy. We currently live in Pennsylvania. We are lot 524, which I think it's Dockview Court, which is close to I guess, the gazebo that's going up. We just finished selections. Just as of yesterday, finalized everything, and now we're just waiting for the build, which will hopefully be first part of next year, probably January or February. So we're hopeful to be done by November timeframe.
Who are you building with?
Hey, good.
Okay, awesome. Awesome.
Yes, we're pretty excited. I think Brian had mentioned we're good friends with the Gwiazinskis. And they kind of directed us to this place, and we kind of fell in love right away. So we're going to be neighbors again. We were neighbors probably 20 some years ago, and now we're going to be neighbors again.
Awesome. Awesome. Glad to hear all those things. So Paul, why don't you tell us about you?
While you're on mute.
You're working on your mic. You got to go to your audio on the lower left. Oh,
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. There you go.
It wasn't working. Had to go to the button that said tap to speak. Anyway, in the last month, we made a lot of progress. They actually broke ground and cleared the property, dug the footers, poured the footers, and right now they're working on the masonry. So things are really looking good. We're getting a lot of pictures, both from the project manager and from neighbors in the area. So it's good. Yeah, we're building with Haygood. We're planning to come down for the POA meeting, send in our RSVP today, and plan to attend your event as well.
We're working on that event. The Santa party on Friday night is, Friday evening. They're doing an event over there. So I'm trying to figure out whether maybe I'll do lunch or something like that. But I'll keep you by you guys, and hopefully if you're here for Friday evening, they're going to do a party and Santa will be there, and we're doing latkes for Hanukkah and lighting menorahs and all kinds of stuff. So it should be a fun night. It's always a nice way to get to meet people. And then Saturday afternoon is also the developers party in the afternoon. So you should be able to take advantage of all of that. Hopefully the weather is usually really great. So Suzanne and Gary, why don't you tell us a little bit about you guys?
Suzanne, Gary, we're from Westchester, New York. We're building with AR. We're on Littleberry Place, and we're just waiting for our C of O. And then I'm moving down, and Gary's going to work for a little while. But we're just waiting to find out when we can move in.
And involved in landscaper negotiations.
Okay.
Yes, we're negotiating.
And share the good part. What are you anxious about coming down for, but even more than the house?
Oh, well, we have a new grandson.
Yeah,
two boys, yes, Mason and Noah. 2 and 2 weeks. 2 years old and 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh wow, which is awesome. So are you guys you're going to be down here for the POA meeting?
I don't know yet. I mean, depending on when we need to come down, but yeah, we're gonna try.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah, I am.
Yes. We still have school.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Okay. So yeah, and we know that and I want to know, so Gary's been working for one of the schools where they're babysitting for the kids' phones and all of all of their toys during the day. How has it gone so far?
Very smooth, very smooth. No issues, really, no issues. As long as it started day one, and we really haven't had any issues. Nothing, they have the phones back at the end of the day, and they're cool with it.
I'd kind of like it. I don't know about you guys. I'd like a day where maybe somebody just said, you got to give up your phone and your watch and everything and spend the day. What do you think? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we should. No, and Michael's shaking his head.
Yeah, I'm shaking my head, Robin. I'm shaking my head because you couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
Not sure. Paul, stop laughing that hard. Come on. I could. I could try. I could definitely try. All right, Barbara, why don't you tell us about you guys?
Okay, let's see, we're up in New Jersey. We're like Northwest Jersey. We are building with Kent. We're on Bay Colony. Let's see, same scenario. I think they just put the footers. They'll be putting the foundation soon. Plan is to be in by, I think, like mid-July. We're going to come down the end of January to do the walkthrough with framing up before the walls go up, and just to see that process. So it's exciting. We'd love to be down sooner to see the trusses and everything go up, but we'll get pictures and stuff like that. So we're very close friends with the Pizaks. So that's how we ended up getting down there.
Oh,
They're very
okay.
friends of ours. They're from our same town. We've been friends and whatever for over 30 years. So Terry sends me pictures too.
Okay, awesome. Not a worry about. How about you, Kim and Rich? Why don't you tell us about yourselves?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Rich and Kim Sandor, nice to meet all of you. We live in Fairfield County, Connecticut, right on the New York line, right near North Salem. So probably just north of you, Suzanne and Gary. We just closed on our property back in September. We're at 425 on what's our road again?
River Glen
Loop
Northeast.
River Glen Loop Northeast. We just decided on a builder, so we'll probably start building sometime next year, early next year, and we'll be down there as soon as we can. I'd like to go down there. Last time we were there a couple weeks ago, and I just wanted to put a little tent up and just stay.
Yeah, they frown. They do frown on that. Well, I think many of us would like to do that. Some people in the middle of their builds would like to have done that.
To be clear, though, Kim's idea of camping is like staying at the Holiday Inn. So
so the Best Western, that's definitely. And if you are coming down for the POA, I suggest that you get, if you're going to stay at the Ballast, there is a code for a discounted rate. And if you don't have that code, let me know. And I am also working on. I should have a code very soon for the Best Western as well. So we're going to get a corporate rate. So Best Western has a great breakfast, and the Ballast. So the meeting is going to be at the Ballast. So at 9 o'clock in the morning. So it's nice to be over there. So if you're coming in for the POA, definitely make reservations because it's hot. It's a little bit closer to holiday.
10 o'clock.
And sometimes they do. They close out pretty quickly. John and Deanna, why don't you introduce yourselves to everybody and tell us about what's going on with you guys?
Yeah, hi, I'm John.
Hi,
My wife, Deanna.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, so we're really excited about moving in. We settled on our lot on 469 on Fallen Pear back in August, and we selected Haygood as our builder. We're looking to have breaking ground sometime in January, I believe, and we're looking to hopefully move in around October or so. That's the goal. We're still working, so we're looking to both retire at the end of August and be done and pack up and move down there. So it'd be a lot of activity next year. So, but we're excited about it. We just completed our selections with Haygood about 3 weeks ago. So we're just kind of waiting for some of that process to continue on there. So, yeah. But that's Won't be able to make it to the POA meeting, unfortunately. We're going to be headed up to New York to hit a cruise ship for a few weeks in December. So it'll be cold, but we'll be hitting down there towards the Caribbean soon after that. So yeah, we're cruisers, so we might be living there, but we might be on a cruise ship half the time too. So
hey, there's plenty of
Nice.
it's not a bad thing. Suzanne's going, huh? All right, Gary, pay attention. Pay attention. We'll get Suzanne on a cruise. Regina, why don't you introduce yourself and tell everybody about you?
Well, I'm Regina Harris, and my husband Hank is not here this evening because he's out hunting. But I had an accident at our home at the Outer Banks in March, and I broke my foot, and immediately realized that it was time to leave that home. So I didn't come into this move willingly. But a mutual friend of mine from the beach introduced us to Janice and Mickey Bauckham. And once we
Oh,
saw,
so you're the person. So you're because they took yeah. So I heard Janice told me we're very close friends with them.
yeah. So the Bluffs is, I'm looking forward to coming into our new home in the Bluffs and one level living for the most part. We are going to our plan includes constructing the bonus room that above the garages, but the Bluffs was the second best thing at the time to the Outer Banks. So it's getting more and more and more that I'm feeling we've made the right decision. So we finished selections. We're just about ready to put the wet ink on the contract, and we picked Kent Homes as well, and should be in October, November next year.
So you purchase the lot on Belmead?
Yes, it's
you did. Okay, so literally, I ride my bike by your property every as often as because we're literally right around the corner.
Oh,
so
cool.
you're definitely close enough. So I know exactly.
Yeah. Oh, we met you guys at that party. We were looking at the clubhouse.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, there we are. Which is all good. So Janine, what happened to Scott? Where did he go?
He needed a hall pass for a second.
Oh, okay.
Janine and Todd that was here. We're from northern New Jersey, by near Morristown. And we're coming on down to the Bluffs. We're building with Haygood. We're lot 551 on River Parkway. And today was exciting. They poured our slab, and framing materials come tomorrow. The trusses get delivered Friday, and I think they're going to start framing on Friday. And so at the beginning of next week, everybody, if anybody's driving down River Parkway and sees trusses getting put on, just take the picture and send it to me because it's probably my house. Because I hear that's really cool. I'm lining up my video teams to try and go get some of that. And our house is then going to become we're doing a lease back with them. So it should be done around June of next year. And then we're doing a year lease back with Haygood. So that's our scoop.
Awesome. And you're coming down with how many dogs?
3 dogs and a cat, God willing. Some are getting on in age. And unfortunately, we won't be coming down for the POA. We were hoping that the drywall walkthrough was going to coincide, and it looked like it was going to line up. And then with that potential cyclone storm that came before Helene, it kind of delayed the permit getting to Haygood by about a week, or 5 to 6 business days. So it kind of put us to the beginning of January. It's just too close we'd rather come back down some other times after that. But next year, I'm sure we'll be down.
Absolutely. No worries. How about you, Ellen?
So we're on Bay Colony also. So we're not too far from Robin. We're at lot 350, 351. We purchased 2 lots because we wanted to fit our pool in the backyard. So we should be moving about January, I think. The house is painted, the counters are in, the cabinets are in, tile is almost done, trim's almost done. Little behind, but that's fine. We're not we'd like to leave here because it is currently 29 degrees and snowing. So
wow,
we would love to leave Minnesota. We're in Minnesota. But we are also moving my mom to a memory care in the area, and I think we've finally found the place for her, so that's sort of a weight off my shoulders. We just figuring out, like I mentioned before, the starting to get all the details of the move lined up. But yeah, the house, it's been with Hey Good, and everything's been going really well. Husband just walked in the door. He's sneaking by like he doesn't want to. But no, everything's been going really smoothly with Hey Good. Yeah, that's about it.
All right,
Hopefully
awesome.
January, that's the plan. A little nervous about moving in the middle of winter here because there could be multiple feet of snow. I'm trying to we were pondering, like getting things out of the house and having to go up the back and into the front with snow. We've never moved. We've moved a lot of times, but we've never moved with snow before. So we shall see.
It's because I remember saying, I can't believe, I normally don't leave my house in the month of August, but to move to the south in the month of August was astronomical. But when it's hot, it's hot. And you'll be leaving the snow behind because I don't really think you're gonna be seeing a lot of that here. I don't know. I haven't lived here long enough. But it's definitely been, hopefully, everything will work out well and you'll be here before you know it. Brian.
Hello, Brian and Kim Gwazinski. She's working again. We're lot 442, the model home for Kent Homes. We're scheduled to move down the last week of May 2025.
Awesome. Kathy, are you here? I see that your camera's off and you're on mute, so I'm not sure if you're still here. Well, if you are, just come back on in. And did I get everybody? Jim, did I get you guys?
Yeah, we got to.
Okay, that's better. Yeah, the first time you did, and we'll do it again though. My wife Cindy and I'm Jim. Last name is Press, Press. We're from Raleigh, and we sold our home in Raleigh and moved to Navassa a couple months ago, and we have a temporary home here. So I'm over at the job site every day, checking, making sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And so far, the building process with Kent Homes has been really good. Lot 536 seems like just a week ago they had the foundation, and now they got the walls and the roof up, and it's all wrapped up, ready to put the roofing material on. But it's crazy how fast they can build a house when they get going on it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a real busy year next year. Really busy year next year. So did I get everybody?
Yeah.
Paul, did I get you?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, couple of things that we've talked about the POA meeting. So if anybody needs any other information, did everybody get the email, the mailing from the developer with all? Okay. All right. Just want to make sure. Actually, some people here, it ended up going to their old address. So there were people here who didn't get it. So I wanted to make sure about that. If you have any questions about that, certainly let me know. Really interesting, a bunch of things going on. Was it last week or the week before? I think it was last week. We had a representative from the Brunswick County, the North Carolina extension, the Brunswick County, to do a talk here on longleaf pines. So normally the New Yorker and me would have gone, but here I am in North Carolina, and I wanted to learn all about longleaf pines and why they were so important. I came home, and Michael, what did I say? He wasn't listening to me. So it's exactly what it is. He had no clue what I said. I was so jazzed by this really cool state that we're now living in. There were so many things that are indigenous to North Carolina. and so much information and why we need to put back indigenous plants back into our community. And they, as part of our taxes that are paying for, we actually had the young lady who did the presentation came to our property this morning and did kind of went around our property with us and told us what kind of trees we had, what kind of things we should possibly plant, what things would grow really well here, certain things we can get rid of, certain things that we may want to keep. It was really very cool. Also left us with some soil testing kits, and this is all free. This is all one-on-one. They brought us soil testing kits that they will now I think it's from the end of November until April. They charge for it, but before that, it's a free service, and they will tell you about your soil. You know, the things that will be best to grow on your land and all that kind of stuff. And she was wonderful, spent a lot of time with us. So I will, in my email coming back to you, all of you, when I do the recording, I will send you all of the information for them and their website. It's really very cool to learn about there was a wonderful thing. They have a brochure that says, don't plant this, plant this. So don't plant that, plant this, because a lot of people are putting things in that may or may not work all that well here. We have very sandy soil. We had it on Long Island. So there's a tremendous amount of information, because as you're looking into your landscaping, as you're thinking about all this stuff, you know, if we're from the north, or if you're definitely from a colder place, we're so used to having certain kind of trees. And then everybody comes down here and says, oh, I'm gonna grow orange trees and lemon trees. And we're in the, you know, where, you know, if it's not necessarily going to happen. So that was really exciting and a wonderful thing. Somebody had put in the chat about the new water treatment, the reverse osmosis. So Tim, because I know that you're on top of a lot of these things, can I throw this question to you?
I'm getting nervous. Yes, you can.
Don't get nervous. It's okay. No pressure. No pressure.
What do you need to know? Because
well, no. So the main answer is that no, we have not gotten. Our community does not yet have the county reverse osmosis.
Right. Some people choose to get a whole house water filter system. Some people do under the sink, maybe in the kitchen or in a bathroom or something. We didn't do anything. We're just risk takers. So and in all seriousness, the water seems absolutely perfect to us. So I don't think there's a big issue either way. But I know that is a topic because it's a new system coming in. People have been talking a lot about it.
And it was supposed to come in, but it hasn't gotten here yet. So we're Brunswick County, not Leland.
Right.
So
we are
Brunswick
County.
Go ahead.
Yep. No, I was saying that we are Brunswick County Water. Leland is getting that right now, and they have it in parts of Leland. We're currently still on Brunswick County Water. Water. One of the things that you'll find, water is a little bit more expensive here than it was, at least where we're from. But they do a really good job, like metering it differently. So there's, the potable water, and then there's, landscape type water and stuff like that. So they work with you. One of the things you're going to find about this area, especially if you're coming from someplace further away, is that all of these departments, whether it's the DMV or the water department or the electric company, whoever it is, they're so good. Like, they answer the phone, they'll set an appointment with you. I mean, I called the DMV and spoke to somebody. Like, they picked up the phone. Like, where I'm from, that I'd still be on hold, 18 months later, in some hellish loop. Yeah, so everyone's really good about that, but and including the water people. I know we had an issue when we first started switching over from the builder to us, and there's kind of a crossover where he had paid a bill on our behalf, and they were just, you know what, they're like, yeah, let's just call it a splitsy and just, you know, whatever you feel comfortable paying. And I was like, I like that, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely a change for those of us who are from that New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area. Yes, people answer phones here. It's really, and they say please and thank. It's kind of an interesting experience.
I went to the DMV with no appointment and registered my boat and my trailer in a minute. No
Yep.
paperwork, no application. Just here's my driver's license. I walked out a minute later with the whole thing. Registration, license plate. It's like the greatest. It's like the greatest thing. I'm not sure every experience isn't like that, but it was just really streamlined.
No, which is really great. So I'm going to open up the floor to any questions that you have. Anything about the bluffs, anybody needs any information. I want to make sure before we do that, has everybody registered on the owner's portal? Is everybody registered on the owner's portal? Okay. Jim, have you guys registered on the owner's portal?
Mute again.
I'm used to muting when I'm not talking, but
Okay.
I think I did because I do get something, and she usually does that, so we'll make sure we are. I read there's this one and that one and that one. I don't know what I'm on.
No, and that's where you're able to put in your information. It's important because there's a lot of information there. So I'll pull it up in a minute. And if you need help getting on there, because that's where you're going to find all the things that people are looking for, all this information about the phone numbers for the water company and how to get your keys for your mailboxes and all that, the map. So we can certainly talk about that. We'll make sure that you're done. Yes, Brian.
Quick question for Tim. He says we're Brunswick County water, but where does the water come from, Tim? Does it still come from the river?
I don't know where the water comes from. I'm going to assume not the river. But I don't know.
It's still coming from the river. Our water comes from the river.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, it would make sense. I just didn't think that it did, but yeah, I just don't know.
So our address is Leland, but we have certain things, we're here in Leland, but our fire department, I think we have the Navassa Fire Department. So it's all we're kind of we're figuring it all out.
You pay a little bit on your taxes towards the Navassa Fire Department. But we pay the taxes, I guess, to Brunswick County. Because we're not really in the village.
My second part of the question is, I've been seeing people posting on the Facebook group about $900 water bills.
Yeah. So people,
are they working
people
on
have
getting that straightened out?
Yeah. So I've had a friend that had that, and they found out it was a leak in one of the zones. So here's his experience, and this is what I'm talking about working with these people. So he had this $900 or $1,000 bill, and he's like, "What was that? Is this for multiple months? How could that possibly be?" And they determined that the landscaper or somebody during some of the projects had cut or cracked one of the irrigation pipes, and he had a leak. So he went to the water folks, or he called them and said, "This is what happened." They said, "Yeah, just have the landscaper send us a note. We'll credit your bill." So it was pretty easy to rectify.
We disputed ours as well, right, Michael? We disputed it. It wasn't that difficult.
No, they took care of us with us and with everybody that has these water issues. I think it's like a different story. Tim, we had a similar story in that we had on water spewing. We didn't even know this until our builder did a walkthrough with us as we moved in, that there's water spewing from where they connect the water meter. And had we not walked over there with the builder, where would we ever see the water that was just spewing into the woods next to our house? So we don't even know how long that was flowing. But meanwhile, we were responsible because our name was attached to the water bill at that point in time. And in addition, our builder, whatever, never made arrangements to give us 2 meters. There's 1 meter for your house water and one for your irrigation water. And we were doing all the irrigation off of our house water, which is a much higher cost. It's probably twice the price. So we had to resolve that. And guess what? We had a $600 something bill for the first month, and they gave us almost half back. So they did resolve it. We know that during irrigation season, there's a lot of water that you're using if you have grass and trees and such. But we should not have been billed 600, but they took care of us. So, but everybody else has a different story.
Absolutely. So Kathy, we're glad you're back here. Why don't you, while you still have power on your phone, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us about what's going on with you guys? And she froze. There you go. You got to turn on up. That was the camera, the other one. Click on the little microphone.
Okay.
There you go.
Finally, it is acting bizarro, absolutely bizarre. And I'm practically laying on the floor to get to the charger. So it's really kind of funny. If anybody needs a lesson on what bless your heart means, because I couldn't help it. because I'm from Huntsville, Alabama, and we are from Charlotte. We moved here from Charlotte, but I've lived in North Carolina, and so has my husband all our lives. So if anyone ever says, Kathy, this guy said to me, bless your heart, but I'm not sure what it means, I'll tell you what it means. And it can mean several different things. So we moved from Charlotte, got a wild hair, moved to Holly Ridge, which is in between Surf City and North Topsail Beach. And when we got here, we realized that we thought we wanted to get away from the city, and maybe not like this. So, both of us are still working. We have a son that's going to be starting at Cape Fear in January, and he's going to be working at Porter's Neck Village, where my dad is. And we just are so excited to be moving to the Bluffs, be closer to civilization. And we move in on the 13th of December.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Anybody have any questions that they want to put out there? Anybody have anything that they want to talk about?
One question, the water bill, that's a monthly bill in North Carolina? Just because we usually here in Westchester, we have a quarterly bill. Is it monthly?
Monthly. Yeah,
It is monthly, huh? So you get monthly, and they have it one irrigation and then household. It's
you get one bill, Gary. You get one bill, but they itemize, what you're getting billed for. It's all one big bill.
Yes. Okay.
And the bill, actually, our water, bill shrunk a little bit, in the last 30 days because we haven't been watering. So I saw what our usage is. So I think it's a little bit of a culture shock for us coming from Long Island, where water wasn't cheap, but I think it was a little bit cheaper than here, a little bit. It's a little bit of a culture shock, but we'll adjust because there's other benefits we're getting.
Yes. Yeah. Just
talk to me about property taxes. That's
really.
Yeah. My property taxes are 25% of what they used to be, or less.
Yes, that's the key.
Oh no, that was the big. I think we were heading north towards 16,000, Robin. $17,000 for not a ginormous piece of property. So going to what we have now was definitely, if we have to pay a little bit more for water and sunshine and being here, it's a lot of nice weather. And not always in when you're working, but I keep saying I wake up every morning and I walk by my front door and I'm waiting for that piece of paper that they always slide underneath your door saying, thank you so much for staying with us. We hope to see you again soon. When they put the bill under your door, that the vacation's over and you get all that sad, and wake up every morning and walk by that door, and there's no piece of paper under there. And a lot of people keep, I hear this a lot from a lot of people, and we've been pretty happy. And again, when you come in and you see everyone's getting ideas, and it took me about almost 3 weeks till I was able to do the food shopping and stuff without having to put my GPS on. Just trying to figure that out. Trader Joe's is still a challenge. It's down. We have one in downtown. So when you have a moment, go on to Trader Joe's website and because there's a place there where you can request a new location. They're putting things in there. So we're all trying to get a Trader Joe's here in Leland. I did hear that they're supposed to be building a Publix somewhere nearby. Evidently, that's a big deal. So they are talking about building a Publix. There's a lot of construction going on down here. If you haven't been down in a while, right across the street from our community, Coastal, what's it called, Michael?
Coastal Haven, is it?
Coastal Haven is popping up. My God, I go to, every time I drive by, there's another house there. No, I do not know if there's going to be a traffic light there yet, but I'm assuming at some point they're going to need some kind of traffic motion. And with the amount of construction and the number of houses, I think that we're probably looking at, hopefully somebody's going to take one of those ginormous properties on Mount Misery and get us some more shopping. I spoke to somebody yesterday, and she said, we got to talk to somebody that you can't get any really great, like mozzarella. You can't get, there's certain things that people have been missing a lot. There's
an Italian deli,
like a really great Italian deli. So I know Bagel Boss from Long Island is opening up 2 or 3 places, but one on the Riverwalk in Wilmington. So little by little, everybody's finding our area. And it's growing by leaps and bounds. Our airport, I think, is one of the fastest growing. I think that there was just a report on what they're putting into the airport, the amount of money that they're putting into the airport. There's also a huge amount of money that the state has put in to do light rail from Raleigh down into Wilmington, and then down into the beach. Those of you guys who were from Raleigh, any information, Jim, that you have on that? Did it actually go through, or is it still a conversation?
Yeah, that goes back years ago when they had all this money for high-speed rail, and Raleigh voted, yeah, we'll chip in for that. And I don't know that much has happened since then, but I thought it was going more towards Richmond and up the coast, or maybe over to Charlotte, but I never heard anything about Wilmington.
Well, yeah, they want to get it down to the beach. They're trying to get it down to the beaches.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard that. So,
all right, well, we'll have to stay on. We'll have to stay on top of it.
Yeah, I did have a question. I'm a little confused on our water and the bluffs. Is it reverse osmosis, or it's going to be reverse osmosis?
The county is doing a rollout of reverse osmosis for the bigger areas. So they're putting in county reverse osmosis systems. A lot of people have put in their own house reverse osmosis. Many people have put in water softeners, but people are putting reverse osmosis in because we seem to keep on getting delayed. I did ask Pat in the POA office, and they keep pushing us back 6 months, 6 months, 6 months, 6 months, 6 months. So that's been going on now for the last couple of years. So hopefully there's new people in government here, and maybe it'll get closer. We have a lot of new people. Write a letter, pick up the phone. Maybe somebody will call. Maybe somebody will pick up the phone. It's North Carolina. We should give a phone call.
So when
Pat,
they make
do you know anything about? Have you heard anything locally about the water? Anybody have heard anything different? No. I guess we'll get the memo when it finally comes through. So right now, you got to take care of it for your own home.
So when they do the changeover, then we'll have reverse osmosis.
Correct.
Their tap,
Correct.
yeah.
Yeah, there are parts of Leland now that have full reverse osmosis. I know that they've been like flushing the systems and doing things like that.
Yeah.
We haven't had any problems. And Tim, I agree with you. I mean, we try to, the drinking filtered water. But we've always done that. We did it in New York too. And it's supposed to be great water.
When the Culligan guy came to put our reverse osmosis system in just our drinking taps, he had told us that the town was putting in a full system, and he said when that would happen, we'd see a spike in the hardness of the water, and the water chemistry would be changing. So based on that change, they may recommend putting in a water softener or something else for the whole house. But because we're not moving in until May, I said, well, I'll reach out to you in April and see where we're at.
Yeah.
That's the last water talk I had.
I don't know how much harder the water could be. I guess we have the loop that was installed. We just haven't done. There's a very long list of all of the things that are the list of priorities. I think we were sleeping on a mattress on the floor for almost 3 months. That was a priority to get a bed, to get a bed to get up off the floor. It was a priority. It was important. So little by little, it's definitely getting there. Definitely getting there. Anybody else have anything they want to bring up or any questions about anything that they need to learn how to do? Yes, Janine.
Just something like a little share, just something I learned that might help somebody going forward. I know if you've been on the calls before, you've heard some great information on Jeff Terry, who is a private home inspector, and he's amazing. And I connected with him to just see like how far in advance his schedule needs, for the pre-drywall walkthrough. Bottom line, in the conversation, he actually had asked me if I was having a tankless hot water heater. And I said, yeah. And he's like, well, the water can get cold. I said, no, we're having a recirculating loop. And he said, okay. He goes, you really may want to have that recirculating loop inspected before they cover your plumbing, because if they pour your slab and there's something wrong with the loop, you can't go back and correct it because it's buried. So that was the first time in all of the Zoom calls, none of that has ever come up. Everybody's talked about like the pre-drywall inspection and then before they close. It was $150. He went out with pretty much less than 24 hours notice and inspected the recirculating loop. And he also checked the waste drainage. That's nasty. But just letting you know that if anybody's thinking of that, it was something I learned and it gave a peace of mind in case for some reason somebody didn't do the loop properly, that at least I know the loop is working and we'll get hot water on a timely manner. So.
Awesome. That's good to know. That's good to know. Anybody
Hey, Robin,
else have anything they want to bring up?
Another quick question, Robin. With
Sure.
the last time we talked, it was about they're no longer handing out the gate opening buttons. Is there any progress on that?
Okay, so we are going to be changing over to a little sticker on the car. They're not really selling because they didn't want to sell them for what are they, $50-$60, whatever they were. I should turn off the recording, but I'm not going to do that. So if you really, 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 really want a clicker, if you want one of them, if you stop at the gatehouse and you explain to them, like my arms are short. I'm getting really good at figuring out how to get close enough because we never bought one because we figured that they were supposed to be changing over. I have a feeling they're in stock. They should be changing over like March or April. because it's all tied into the clubhouse and the beach house and all those different things. If it's really important to you to have one, if you stop at the gatehouse and you tell them that, that's really important for whatever reason, I don't think they're going to say really no. They do have them, but they're just not encouraging people because it's going to be, we don't know. It could be 2 months. It could be 4 months. As I said, we never did it. So we just I just drive up, and a lot of times when I drive up and I open my window and I put my arm out, if there's somebody behind me that has one, they're usually opening the door because they don't want to wait for the gate, because they don't want to wait for me to put all the numbers in. But for the most part, it hasn't really been an issue. Really hasn't been an issue. Couple other exciting things that are going on that you can be a part of, whether you're living here or not for right now. For those of you who have dogs, and those of you who can plant things, who like to plant, the fencing has now been installed. I think it's finished. It'll be finished tomorrow for the dog park and the community garden. So those are both going to be out there, like right outside the Hetzel Way entrance. And the dog park there's going to be a side for smaller dogs and a side for larger dogs. So you will be able to get a hold of that. The community garden is going to have raised bed plots or that you're going to be able to purchase. It will be a separate POA. And then we're also working on a whole bunch of different event pieces for the community garden as well. We're talking about doing a butterfly garden and a pollination garden, a cutting garden for there's one of the Team Reach groups is a flower arranging. So we're talking about growing the flowers so that they can do a cutting garden, so that it's, we're kind of integrating everything. Want to work with some of the kids and maybe grow some vegetables that then they can bring to a soup kitchen or a shelter. And, just ways for the community to get together. And the dog parks are going to have pergolas. So there's a lot of really wonderful things going on here. We're working on the whole area over by the Riverwalk, by the boat launch. Those things are going to start in the spring. So by spring, when a lot of you are going to be coming in and your houses are going to start, there's a lot of really wonderful things going on. The kayak clubs, the Team Reach has been very active. They've been going out an awful lot. There's so much going on here. And if it's not what you want, you get to start it. That's one of the wonderful things about this. And I think a lot of people have really loved the idea that not everything has been here for 25 years. If you're interested in something, there's no reason. I know somebody told me last night that she wants to start a cross stitch group because she loves to do cross stitch. There are other people who do, I'm trying to think what else would come, some interesting things that we've heard about. There's a knitting crocheting group. There's a golf. There's so many different things. So if you haven't gotten onto Team Reach, so Team Reach is an app for your phone. And if you need to know how to do that, I'll be happy to, offline to get you onto Team Reach. It's a really cool way to start seeing what's going on. We have, that's entertainment, and that's everything that's going on inside the community. And then we have a travel and adventures group, which is the things that go on outside of the community. There is also, there's so many different things going on, and every month something else happens. There's a very active pickleball. So that's for all different levels of pickleball. So there's a lot of things going on. And basically you come down, and if there's something that you're passionate about and you want to share, we've got things going on all the time. So this is a really good time to kind of pay attention to what's going on, so that you can, and one of the first things I did was the Bluffs birding, because I wanted to know about the birds that were down here so I could start recognizing the birds. We have not yet gotten a snake group, thank gosh, because that was one of the things I had absolutely no interest in doing, but I did load the North Carolina snake identification on my Facebook page, not because I really wanted to learn about the snakes, I wanted to desensitize myself so that every time I saw one, I wasn't going to like flip out. And I'm getting very good at figuring out which are the good snakes and the bad snakes. But I think, Michael, how many have we actually seen on our property?
Real live snakes, like big ones, once, and it only appeared for like maybe a minute, and then it's slithered back into the woods. And I think it was one of the good snakes. It was like a dark snake. It didn't have all those different colorations on it. I think
Yes,
that
if it has
black snake.
if it has the markings that look like a Hershey's Kiss.
Yeah, Hershey Kiss is bad.
The Hershey Kiss is bad. Hershey Kisses are bad. So Suzanne, do you guys have snakes up by where you are?
Garden snakes, about it. That's
Yeah,
about it.
just garden snakes.
That is it.
And we've only seen one in 29 years.
We're good.
Yeah.
We're good. Deer,
Wild turkeys.
wild turkeys, chipmunks, raccoons. That's about it. And an occasional bobcat.
Yep, we have a lot. There's a lot of wildlife here. Kathy, where you are now, do you have a lot of snakes over by you? Because I know you're a little more rural. No, she's given up. She's given up on her phone. She's just, bless your heart, bless your heart. It's all good. Barbara, did you want to share something?
No, I'm good.
Anybody else have anything that they need information on? No, everybody's good?
Robin, I would just add, for some of you are in the building process, and if you need photos of your lot, if you don't have people taking photos, let us know, let Robin know. And we drive around the community every once in a while. If you need us to shoot a photo of your dirt or your lumber, we're happy to do that.
And Michael, you have to get your drone back out again. I know that was something that Michael was doing. So if you want some drone footage,
that'd be great.
contact Michael.
Be cool.
Yeah, I gotta get on the stick.
Yeah,
I gotta get going with my drone. So if somebody wants drone footage of their dirt and their lumber, Janine, I know you have a delivery coming.
Yeah, it's more the trusses. I heard how cool that is to see.
Yeah. You know something? I have to just jump in on that. It is exciting. Robin and I were here when we just had dirt and trees, and we didn't even have a road. We had to find our way into our cul-de-sac the back way, through some little pathway through the woods. And then we've seen the full evolution of our property, from the foundation, the clearing, to the foundation, to this stage, to that stage. And it is very exciting to see. So you should, if you can, document it or have people help you document it, as we did. It's really fun.
All right, terrific. So most importantly, everybody have a happy and a healthy Turkey Day with family and with friends. And this is our first Thanksgiving here. There's not going to be snow. It's going to be a little weird being out of New York. I've been at a New York Thanksgiving for more years than I want to know, but we'll watch it on TV. We'll play New Yorkers on TV, and it's all good. So looking forward to meeting you guys, and I'll keep you posted with whatever event I'm going to do on Friday. We have to just figure it out, and RSVP to the POA meeting, RSVP to the POA, and if there's anything that you guys need, you have my phone number. You can just text me. And in the interim, if you have any questions, just reach out, and have a happy and a healthy. And thank you guys for showing up tonight. And Kathy, keep your phone plugged in. And hopefully I'll see you guys in less than a month.
Have a happy Thanksgiving,
Happy
everybody.
Thanksgiving, everyone. Night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good night.
All right, thank you.
That was nice.